Jay Lee, comic book artist known for working on titles such as Namor the Submariner, The Sentry, and Batman Superman. Tom King, ex-CIA officer turned comic book writer, known for working on titles such as The Vision, Batman, and Mr. Miracle. Two comic book pros that would be working alongside each other on DC Black Label series Rorschach, with King as the writer and Lee as a variant cover artist. However, their collaboration would come to an end within a few tweets in one day. On July 24th, Tom King posted to Twitter, "Today DC put out an alternative cover to Rorschach by Jay Lee, who has done covers for Comicsgate, a hate group. DC does not consult creators on alternate covers. I reached out to them to express my deep disappointment. Far as I'm concerned, this is the cover to Rorschach #1. The cover in question is the standard cover A. The cover in question that Lee did is for Ethan Van Sciver's Cyberfrog Wrecked Planet. Many of the replies to this were mixed. Some were in support of what King did and calling out Comicsgate for being a hate group. Others agree that Comicsgate is accused of being a hate group and King partaking in cancel culture. And some not liking Comicsgate, but not approving of how King handled this. On the same day, King would later post, "I spoke with Jay, he's not on Twitter, didn't know Comicsgate existed, doesn't support hate of any kind, we're all good, best possible outcome." This post was met with more mixed to negative opinions, and I would have to agree with the negative, but more importantly, seems like Jay Lee doesn't think they're all good. On the 13th of July, Jay Lee and his wife June suffered the loss of their pet dog Loki, with Jay himself making this public 4 days later, a week before King made his initial tweet. On July 24th, Jay and his wife decided to have a day of mourning for Loki to comfort one another by sharing their favorite stories of him. However, King's tweet about Jay intruded on this. Jay himself stated on a post on Instagram, a part of the internet I avoid like the plague came barging in. I had companies I'm working for calling me, friends reaching out to me, I'm seeing hate pouring out of strangers' mouths, accusing me of things I have no knowledge of, I'm seeing firsthand how fast lies are spreading. Let me be clear, I'm not part of any group. I'm writing this because I'm angry. These irresponsible tweets are not harmless. They do not just go away. They have real-world consequences. They can take away your job, your life, your memories. June and I were robbed of a special day, so no, we're not all good." That last part is obviously a jab at King's second tweet, clarifying that the situation was resolved between the two. Apparently not, and Jay is right. We live in a time where a single tweet could destroy an entire life, whether it is true or false. Instead of handling this matter privately, Tom King decided to broadcast this on one of the biggest social media platforms on the internet to his 110,000 plus followers. And why didn't he handle this privately? Instead had to add a second tweet saying the matter was cleared afterwards? Well, according to frequent King collaborator and comic book artist Mitch Gerads, King had to go through so much to make this discussion a reality. Bullshit. And when called out for this, or if someone said that King could have talked to Jay in the first place, he did what any person who couldn't handle criticism on Twitter would do. He blocked them and deleted his reply. Stay classy, bitch Gerads. Some even found problems with how Jay responded to all of this. Tim Doyle saying, "It would have been great for Tom to do this privately, sure, but whether Jay knew about CG before or not, he knows now. And Tom pointing out Jay was working with a hate group is not Tom's fault. Jay's response is lacking and manipulative. I don't give a fuck about his dead dog regarding this." You heard it here. You heard it here first, everyone. It doesn't matter if you lost someone that was essentially a family member and are trying to mourn them. You know about CG now and need to hate them like Tim Doyle. What's that, victims of 9/11? You're mourning over the friends and family who died in the Twin Tower attacks? Fuck that. Comicsgate is a thing, and you do need to be outspoken about your hatred for them. Hey, Holocaust survivors, I know the Nazis are bad and everything, but Comicsgate is like super Nazis, and you need to hate them more. I don't give a fuck if you were subjected to inhumane experiments by Hitler's men. Stop being manipulative about that and hate CG. Tim Doyle, truly worthy of wielding the power of heart in Captain Planet and the Planeteers. Oh god. The thing is, Tom King definitely could have handled this matter privately, but he chose not to. Why? If you recall, King is responsible for the Comics Pledge, where male comic book pros had to pledge not to harass women, people of color, or LGBTQ+, etc., either verbally or sexually. Given any rational person doesn't need to publicly state they don't rape women if they don't rape women, King possibly did this to virtue signal and to make it look like he was on the right side, that he was a good guy. And given the mainstream comic industry's dislike of Comicsgate, King could have done this to further push the narrative of being such a good guy. Alternatively, King may have chosen to put Jay on blast to distance himself from any fallout courtesy of groups such as Anti-Comicsgate. Whether it be mainstream industry or Comicsgate, each group has vultures, those willing to eat their own if they don't toe the party line. 3 hours before King made this first post, a Twitter user by the name of SJW Spider-Man, who is notorious when it comes to Comicsgate and Anti-Comicsgate and all that, put up a tweet about Jay Lee's cover for Rorschach #1, stating that Lee did covers for Comicsgate and Ethan Van Sciver, the aforementioned Wrecked Planet variant, and asked if King knew about this, personally adding Tom King's Twitter in that post. So it's possible that King saw this, and to protect himself and to clarify that he doesn't condone a supposed hate group, decided to throw Jay Lee under the bus. This is all speculation, of course, but I don't see any other reason why he didn't choose to discuss his concerns with Jay Lee privately from the get-go. You know, something a normal person would do. For someone who likes to come off as an intellectual in his works, King sure is lacking in brain cells. But apparently a few of those brain cells decided to rejuvenate as King posted a third tweet on July 28th saying, "As I have done privately, I'd like to publicly apologize to Jay Lee for my actions a few days ago. I should have talked with Jay before I sent a tweet about him that put his career at risk. I made a critical mistake and I'm profoundly sorry. I will do what I can to repair this with Jay and I will do better in the future. I'm not going to offer explanations because they sound like excuses, and I'm not asking for forgiveness or understanding. I'm just saying I see what I did, and I'm going to try to make up for it. Thank you. I've kept up the tweets up to this point in order to show that I was not hiding my actions. I will now take them down." On one hand, it's good that King recognized he handled this extremely poorly and is looking to correct this. On the other hand, this shouldn't have happened in the first place if you just talk to Jay from the get-go. And the thing is, you can apologize as much as you want. The damage is done. You know how much a lot of people in the mainstream do not like Comicsgate or anyone affiliated in any way to Comicsgate. So by doing this, you pretty much have damaged Jay Lee's career because of this. Given the whole, everyone's so obsessed with politics, whose side are you on, all of that, this is such a huge black mark on Jay Lee now. Granted, he didn't know what Comicsgate is. He is not particularly on social media, particularly Twitter. It's mainly just Instagram, and there he just focuses on his artwork and just family stuff. So, we'll have to see what happens. Whether Jay Lee will be blacklisted or whatever. I don't think blacklisted would be the get-go. I think that sounds too extreme. But given the situation that was going on with Dynamite, where creators are leaving Dynamite because you're doing Indiegogos for Comicsgate artists and all that, etc. We don't like them. They're a hate group, so we're leaving. We're leaving. We're not going to work with you anymore. And then Dynamite having to double down, taking down those Indiegogos, or whatnot, and all of that. So we'll just have to see what happens. But yeah, good thing that King apologized, but the damage is done. You should have talked with him privately from the get-go. Don't react. Don't make it look like you're such a good guy. Oh, I don't like this hate group. See, I'm on the right side of comic book history. King, you are for all intents purposes a fucking idiot. You are. in the most basic sense of it, you are a fucking idiot for doing this. You have potentially ruined a man's career because you couldn't fucking think and talk to him privately. You had to go on Twitter and put him on blast. One of the worst things you can do, because it's Twitter. Twitter is a cesspool. It is absolute cancer on society. Worst possible place in existence. And before I wrap all this up, there was also a few of King's tweets afterwards that have been accused or speculated to him insulting Jay Lee in regards to his dog's death. So the tweets in question being posts that featured King's own pet dog, saying like, good morning, or walking the dog. And some see this as an act of pettiness and a jab at the death of Lee's dog Loki. However, I don't think this is the case. If King said that he and Jay were all good, it would be strange to be petty and post these afterwards. And more importantly, King has made posts of his dog before, some even with the same sentences, numerous times before any of this happened. So most likely, and I think this is the case, it is just incredibly poor timing to make those posts in regards to what's been happening overall. But that's my thoughts, my rundown on what's going on. Also, I almost forgot one thing. King, deleting the tweets aren't going to do anything. Like I said, the damage is done. So you're saying that you've kept them up because you didn't want anything to hide, but now you're taking them down. So you're going back on your own word, and you're not really doing anything. The damage is done. Deleting the tweets ain't going to do anything. So I don't see the point. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the situation. You know what to do. Follow me on all my different social media. Subscribe. Hit the like buttons, notification bell, all that. And I will see you all in the next one.